Yo, this is the Streetwise podcast. We're here to help you level up your game, level up your leadership, and level up your life. I'm your host, Matthew McReynolds. I'm a multi-brand franchisee, and I'm a franchise consultant where I help people find, launch, and build their ideal business. My main goal is to help you get off of zero and become the person that your dreams need you to be. Buckle up, get your popcorn ready. Let's go. Yo, what up, everybody? Today, we're going to take this in a different direction. We're going to do a solo episode, 5 Things I Learned When. It's a new series that we're going to start here on this podcast. I think it's going to be fun. These episodes are going to be short, to the point, and it's just going to be story time. It's going to be story time. We've been on this journey for 8 years, and that's just the franchise journey. I've been on this entrepreneurial journey for close to 15. And if I'm honest with myself, I've always had a little bit of that hustle in me. So I've definitely failed along the way. I've fallen on my face. I've gotten kicked in the teeth, but I've learned a lot. And we believe in failing forward here on our squad and on this team. And so today we're going to talk about the 5 things I learned when I got sued. Yes, you heard it right. I got sued. It was in 2018. We had just acquired, let me take it back. We didn't get sued until 2020. We had acquired the Plano Frisco additional 2 territories for Mosquito Joe. And we were running them, we were operating them. We had agreed upon, it was an owner financing deal where we put down an initial deposit and then we were going to pay monthly fees. Now, as we started paying these monthly fees back to the previous owner, who we were on great terms with, was super cool with this guy. We had met him a few years earlier in Mosquito Joe, especially in DFW. All the local guys are really close. We help each other out. We were at our yearly annual convention, and I just got connected with this guy, and we hung out just about every day. We talked shop. After convention was over and we came back to DFW in our own respective spots, he just hit me up and was like, "Hey man, I'm thinking about selling and I want to sell to you. I like you. I like your dad. I like what you guys are building. I think this is a good opportunity for everybody. And what do you think?" And so at that time in the game, we owned 4 territories, but we only had 2 or 3 open. Our original Garland, Rockwall, and then we serviced Waxahachie, but we didn't service all the way down in Waco yet. We didn't start that till, I think, 2021. So back in 2018, we had maybe 150, 160 recurring customers that we were going out to on a 3-week basis, and that was during the busy time. And so going into, it would have been our 3rd year, and we get this offer to acquire the Plano and the Frisco territories. When we got that deal done, we went from our 160 to dang near 600 customers overnight. Our business grew over 4x overnight in customers and treatments and revenue, but also staff. We acquired a whole bunch of people. So super big learning curve for us. So let's fast forward a little bit. We're operating, doing our thing. 2020 hits, and it's early 2020. And I'm walking into the office. We're still figuring it out. Like COVID, the world had just shut down, but we were deemed an essential service. And so we were able to continue to operate. And we were still a little scared though. Like we didn't know what was going to come of it. So anyway, I come into the shop one day. My dad's sitting in his office. I walk in. He looks at me and says, "Are you ready to have your day absolutely ruined?" I looked at him. I took a deep breath. I stepped back, looked at the door, looked back at him. Said, "You know what? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty optimistic. Try me." He reaches behind him, pulls out a folder, tosses it on his desk. I reach over, pick it up, open it. And as I'm reading, he says, "Our previous owner, your buddy, is suing us." That's the lawsuit. The lawsuit essentially came from what was initially agreed upon as the payments that was on paper had later I don't know if it was a handshake agreement. I don't know what the deal actually came down to, but the payments that we were making didn't match because we were going to kind of spread them out because we were coming out of the off season. Well, COVID hit. The world was thrown into uncertainty, and our previous owner, my friend, needed that money and wasn't willing to wait anymore. So he made a business decision, which, thinking back on it, and even in the moment, I'm thankful that back then I didn't know everything that I know now, to where even back then I didn't get a fraction of as stressed out as if that would happen today. Or let me say it like this: things happen now that 2x, 3x stress me out, that are not as big deal as getting sued. This is one of those things that ignorance sometimes can be bliss, and I'll never forget a conversation that I had with him. This was a couple weeks later, maybe 1 week, maybe a couple days, who knows. We're talking years ago now. And I'm talking to him, and we're just catching up because we acquired this business, and he went his way and we went ours. And I didn't really think about the fact that I hadn't talked to him in 12, 18 months. I didn't think about that. It was just, we're doing his thing and we're doing our thing, and we're thinking that he's doing his. But during this conversation, he made the statement, "You're not truly a business owner until the first time you get sued." And I couldn't do anything but laugh, because it was in that moment that I truly felt like I was getting punched. And even though I didn't know how serious it was, I felt that deep down that this could be something that could take us out. So the first thing I learned when we got sued was, you need to take ownership over your role in the situation. Now, there's a lot to be said about partnerships and transactions and working with friends and doing deals with family, with friends, all of it. There's a lot that could be said there. Anytime you have emotional attachment to a situation, things can get a little heated when you feel like you've been wronged, or you feel like somebody is offending you. What could be more offensive than being handed a lawsuit by somebody who considered a friend? I could have easily lost my cool, lost my composure, and responded in a way that would have made the situation worse. Somehow, some way, by the grace of God, I was able to take ownership over my role in the situation, my dad's role in the situation, our team as a whole, and how it could have been avoided, but hindsight's always 2020. And by doing that, we were able to not point fingers, but actually assess and figure out, what did we need to do to move forward and to create a win-win situation. Which leads me into the second lesson that I learned when I got sued. It is absolutely imperative to seek compromise, because compromise is the key to collaboration. If you're going to work with somebody, if you're going to be in a relationship, if you're going to do a business transaction, if you're going to fix a problem or try to resolve a conflict, it's foolish to expect that you're going to get your way 100%. There's a lot of hard-nosed folks out there that believe in win-lose. I'm going to be a bulldog. I'm going to be a bulldozer. I'm going to win at all cost. I don't resonate with that stance. I resonate that I can win by enabling you to win also. And if I can create a win-win situation where we both lose a little bit, but we both gain in the bigger, broader, macro level perspective, we can move forward in peace. We can move forward and maintain our relationship. We can move forward and just have a positive experience and allow ourselves to fail forward. And you can only do that if you're willing to collaborate, if you're willing to compromise, if you're willing to sacrifice something. Anything worth value requires sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice, you're going to have a hard time maintaining value over the long term. Yo, thanks for listening this far. It's at this point in the episode that I want to talk about Streetwise franchising, teaching, training, building, Streetwise franchising. As a franchise consultant, it's my job, it's my absolute pleasure to be able to help aspiring entrepreneurs find, launch, and build their ideal business. If you've always wanted to start your own business, but you don't know where to start, if you want to leave that corporate job, but you're a little afraid to take the risk, I'm here to help. I've been a franchise owner for almost a decade. I've learned what it means to build a team, to run a business, to struggle. And I know, based on my experience, how to help others find the right ideal business for them. Streetwise franchising. Stay humble, stay hungry, stay streetwise. Let's get back to the episode. Number 3, I say this all the time. My team knows it. My family knows it. Stay ready, never gotta get ready. And so in this situation, I would say have legal representation ready before you need it. Man, it is a stressful situation to have to find and seek legal representation after you get sued. And that's what we had to do. Now, I was somewhat ready because I'd been networking. I'd been connected with my local community. So even though I didn't at the time know the lawyer that would help me through the process, I knew the lawyer that knew the lawyer. And I also knew a lot of people who knew the lawyer that I ended up using that could then validate their integrity, their expertise, and the value that they could provide to the situation. If I hadn't done that, I would have been screwed. So I got to give myself a little bit of credit. I was a little bit ready there. I knew how to get the tools. I knew how to use the tools that I had, I should say, streetwise, right? But preparation is key. And I would just say now having that legal representation at the ready before you need it is going to allow you to make better long-term decisions and not do anything rash. Lesson number 4 is that life situations is always going to supersede personal relationships. Always, especially when you're in business, when you're doing business, when you're on this entrepreneurial journey, you got to be very careful who you work with. You guys could be best friends, but if you have not assessed who you are and who your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, but also your potential partner or your potential coworker or somebody that you're going to do a transaction with, buy a business from, what's on paper matters more than your friendship. And if you don't have the emotional intelligence to resolve conflict, going into business and doing things with friends and loved ones is probably one of the most dangerous things that you can do. So just a reminder, people will always do what they need to do to survive. Don't be surprised when people turn on you, and maybe use this as a precautionary tone of be careful before you get into business with family and with friends. Now, from the beginning, my dad is my 50-50 partner in everything that we do. He put down the money, I put down the sweat equity. And now the roles have changed a little bit, but we're still 50-50 partners. I got married on March 12, 2016. I went to corporate training up in Virginia Beach for Mosquito Joe on March 13th, 2016 with my wife. We got married, and then the very next day, my dad flew us to Virginia Beach for corporate training so we could get this Mosquito Joe business off the ground, launched and ready to go. If anybody knows and understands what it's like to work with family and with loved ones, I do. So I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm telling you to be very, very careful, because at the end of the day,
People will do what they need to do in order to survive and take care of their own. Just know it, and let's keep it rocking. Lesson number 5. Always do your due diligence and validation on an opportunity before you move forward. We could have avoided so much of the mess. We could have avoided even the negotiation process after the deal was signed. We could have avoided that if we would have done a better job of validating the opportunity beforehand. I think the term red flag is used probably appropriately, but a term that we don't use enough or that we might not look for enough are the yellow flags, the burnt orange flags, the things that we notice, but we don't necessarily hold a lot of weight to, maybe because we don't trust our intuition, or maybe because we had another interaction with the person, they were able to ease whatever random hesitation we thought we had. Now it's gone. When you notice things that set you off, you need to pause and you need to validate. You validate by digging deeper into the situation, look at the data. You validate by talking to people who are around the situation, whether as mentors, whether they are people that you can trust, whether they're people that know the person that might have extra insight or can see around your blind spots. It's super important that you validate, and do your due diligence before you work or move forward in any major decision when it comes to hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're moving. Living in this entrepreneurial game, now depending on how you start, you can start things as a small side hustle and you've got a little bit more wiggle room to make mistakes. And that's where we started. But we lost a lot when we got sued. We did. I think we came out the back end with the W. I think we won, but we had to make very significant sacrifices. We had to sell property. The home that we were renting out, that we were trying to build out as a rental property, that was going to act as an investment to the portfolio. We had to sell it so we could have the cash to settle on the deal so we didn't have to go to court and just to appease. We were able to pay less because we just settled. We ended up getting a better deal than we initially bargained for. We're able to maintain the relationship that I truly feel like if I called up our previous owner of the territory now, we could have a decent conversation. But we still lost. We still sacrificed. It still hurt. It was still a gut punch. And that's why I want to put this out there, because I think a lot of people don't truly understand what they're getting into when they buy a franchise, when they start a business, when they launch something. There's so many unknown unknowns that if I can provide any value and any experience based off of my journey, that's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. And as always, if you're trying to start your franchise journey, if you're beginning, if you don't know where to start, man, I'm here. I'm available to just share my story. So I hope this added value to somebody's life. Until next time, stay humble, stay hungry, stay streetwise. Peace. All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Thank you for making it to the end. Hey, if you like this episode, if it added value in any way to your life, do me a favor, give it a like, share it with a friend, give me a review, leave a comment, whether that's a rocket emoji, thumbs up, a fire, 100 emoji, leave me something. It's the only way to get this out there to other people, and I appreciate you so much for listening. As always, stay humble, stay hungry, stay streetwise. Peace.